1 frigate, 1 corvette, 4 landing craft, 1 minesweeper, 12 patrol boats, 18 auxiliary vessels the. Ukrainian Naval Forces is the Navy of Ukraine and part of the Armed Forces of Ukraine. It consists of 5 branches: Surface Forces, Submarine Forces, Navy Aviation, Coastal Rocket Artillery and Naval Infantry. The Navy numbers 6,500 people. In 2007 and prior to the 2014 Russian annexation of Crimea, 15,470 people served the Ukrainian Navy. The headquarters of the Ukrainian Naval Forces was, until the 2014 Crimean crisis, located at Sevastopol in Crimea. The naval forces of Ukraine were highly affected by the Crimea crisis as majority of their units were stationed there. Ships that did not escape or were not deployed at the time lowered their flags and were interned. Russia began a process of returning the vessels but stopped, citing inability of Ukraine to retake possession and continued violence against Russians in the Donbas. The ships that were returned were the older models of the fleet that were deemed obsolete. For example, Russia chose not to return the corvettes Ternopi and Lusk, both of which are some of the newest ships of the Ukrainian fleet. However, none of the Ukrainian naval units retained were absorbed into the Russian Navy. Ukraine had been scheduling to rebuild its naval forces since 2005 by building the domestic project 58,250, the first Ukrainian designed and built corvette, as well as ordering 4 patrol boats in 2013 from Villard Marine. Ukraine has also restarted the production of its Gruza River armed artillery boat. The Navy operates in the Black Sea Basin. Distant operations of the Ukrainian Navy are limited to multinational activities, such as Operation Active Endeavour and Operation Atalanta in the Mediterranean and Horn of Africa. It is unknown whether these operations are funded by Ukraine. The Ukrainian naval forces trace their history to the Zaporizhian Sech Cossacks, who would frequently raid Ottoman settlements along the Black Sea coast. Cossacks used small ships, called chaikas, which were similar in design to Viking longships. Although technologically inferior to the Turks, the Cossacks had great success against their opponent. In 1614 the Cossack forces were able to raid and destroy Trabzon. In 1615 the Cossacks were able to mount a raid on Istanbul itself, destroying several suburbs of the city. In 1616 a Cossack fleet was able to reach the Bosphorus, once again raiding the surrounding countryside. A Turkish fleet sent to destroy the Cossack forces was defeated in 1617. The Cossacks once again managed to mount an attack on Istanbul in 1625, forcing the Sultan to temporarily flee the capital. The Cossacks used several strategies to attack the larger Ottoman forces, such as positioning their ships during battle in a way that sun was always at their back. The Cossack ships were small with a low profile, making them hard to hit by cannon. Cossacks were typically armed with small-arm muskets, and during battle had the goal of killing the crew and boarding the ship to take it over, rather than sinking the ship. During 1917 Russian Revolution, several ships of the Russian Imperial Navy's Black Sea Fleet, commanded and crewed by ethnic Ukrainians, declared themselves the Navy of the newly autonomous Ukrainian People's Republic. Black Sea Fleet Commander Mikhail Sublin raised the colors of the Ukrainian National Republic on the 29th of April 1918. However, few further steps on establishing a navy were made as the Ukrainian government lost control over coastal territories. After the revolution 1917, a time of anarchy and demoralization overtook the former Russian Black Sea Fleet. The fleet, stationed in Sevastopol, was commanded by a collective Centroflot. Different political influences clashed. Ukrainian, Bolshevik, Menshevik, social revolutionaries and anarchist very different flags were hoisted over ships. Ukrainian bicolors, old Russian ensigns, Bolshevist red flags and anarchist black flags. They were hoisted and lowered even several times daily, according to changes of each crew's political orientation. The Ukrainian People's Republic aspired to take control of the fleet. On the 17th of October 1917 the second-rank captain Ye Akamov was appointed the representative of the Central Council of Ukraine at the command of the Black Sea Fleet. The General Secretariat for Naval Affairs was established within the government of the Central Rada. In Kiev, the head of it became D. Antonovich. The main Navy staff was led by Captain Jerzy Swishy. For the educational and agitational purposes of the seamen, the Central Rada seconded the commissars to Odessa, Mykolaiv, Kherson and Sevastopol. On the 22nd of December 1917, the Naval Ministry in Kiev was established. Starting October 1917, the crews of the ships established military councils. The blue-yellow flags were flying from the masts. The ships Zavodny and Russian cruiser Pamyat Mercuria were the first examples. In November 1917 in Sevastopol was established the Tsar